Hello and welcome back to Angie B Crafts. Thanks for joining me. So I recently put this up on my Facebook page and I've been asked by a couple of people how did I make it, so I thought I'd do a little video showing you how I made it. So first things that I did was get a piece of black card, just standard black card, and then I needed a stencil. The stencil that I used is one from JMC Designs, designed by Julia McNeil. And the name of it escapes me, but it is a favourite, as you can see from the state of it. I use it quite frequently. Now I don't often tape stencils down, but on this occasion I am going to. I then use structure paste from Cosmic Shimmer, which is one of the pastes that I use, just applying it with a palette knife. I've got a few different pastes. I'm just going to give this a bit of a mix because it's getting a little bit dried out. There's not a great deal left in my pot, so giving it a mix and just freshen it up a little bit, and then it's as simple as just popping down the texture paste over the stencil. Now this stencil has got some quite intricate bits, and it's also got some bits, if I show you down here, that can lift. And because they can lift, if you stencil towards them, you're at risk of lifting them. So what I would suggest is, if you're on a craft mat, as I am, rotate your craft mat round. And don't be afraid to move your workspace, or move yourself. It's quite often easier to move your mat though, than it is to move yourself. I've got some hard bits of structure paste coming through here, so I'll just get rid of them. And the other thing is, don't be worried about going over the edge of your card. That doesn't matter, that is manageable. So nearly done, just going to do this bottom bit. And then the last piece. So this is a super quick way of making something quite interesting to go on top of a card or on a journal page. This is just one example. Obviously it's one stencil, I'm going to be using one set of colours. You use whatever stencil and whatever colours you like. So this is just clearing off the excess paste. You get loads to put back into your pot, so don't be afraid of scraping away, and then just try and get your stencil paste back into your pot, because if you leave it near the top there's a chance it's going to dry out a little bit more. Right, straighten myself back up, and then we have the reveal. There we have it. So I will put that in to be washed momentarily. You can see here we've got a little bit of overhang. If I turn it on the back you'll see it, so I'm just going to very gently remove that, because if you leave it overhanging, what can happen is you can end up with dry bits that then snap off. So, looking familiar? Looks pretty much the same to me, but this one's colourful, and it's got lighter colours and darker colours. Let's see why. So I'm using Distress Oxides. I've chosen mustard seed, spice marmalade and seedless preserves. As with Distress Oxides, as I say with Distress Oxides every time, is make sure you give them a shake, because otherwise this sediment at the bottom, which is your pigment, will just sit at the bottom and not do its job. You sometimes need to give them a second to almost get ready for the next pump. Now, oh, there's my raggy. I couldn't find my raggy. So with your Distress Oxides, just give the nozzle a bit of a wipe and just get into the habit of doing that. It's just good housekeeping. Give it a bit of a sugar so you can see what's happened there, that it's come out down the edge there. So I've purposely let you see that. I know this one leaks. This is the better way of doing it. Just wrap your towel around it and give it a shake. So just let it re-prime. There we go. I don't understand why they do that, but they do. They sometimes just need a second to re-prime. There we go. Give it a wipe. And if you do find that your inks are been a little bit stubborn at coming out, just give your nozzle a clean. I have got a video up on my YouTube channel explaining how you clean gloss sprays, but it's the same for any of the sprays. So I think I put a little bit more of the seedless preserve on that time than I did on the original. So I'm going to dry it off. I'm not going to use the water over the top of it. Your distress oxides, you quite often use water over them. To be honest, I don't actually remember if I did or not on the original, but I've decided not to on this one. I want a little bit more vibrancy of colour. Because what happens is if you put the water on, you get more of the chalkiness. So that's curling up nicely. Don't panic when your paper curls. I used to, but I don't anymore. So I don't know if you can see that I've got here like a line of ink. I've got it on both edges. So I'm just going to touch my card to my cloth, and that will just absorb that excess ink away. Just while it's still a little bit wet, and then just get rid of this. Ordinarily I'd have several pieces of card that I'm then passing through this. So please, when you're doing your own, do have other card around that you can sort and get backgrounds and have your journals ready. Just to mop up the ink. There's no point wasting it. You paid for it. Don't waste it. Use it. So as I say, this is a really quick and easy way to make a topper. And don't feel that you then have to use it in one piece either. What you can do is chop it up. So if you wanted to use just half of it coming off a card or something, you could do that. So comparing these two side by side now, we've got more vibrancy on one than the other. And there is a really simple solution for that. This one I must have sprayed the water on because it's the exact same colours, but we've got more vibrancy on this one than on this one. So that's a really good comparison actually to let you see the difference. If you do add the water, you get a paler colour and more. You still get chalky look with both, but you get a paler colour by adding the water because you're obviously diluting down the intensity of the colour with the water, and you're causing a chemical reaction as well, which gives you more varied colour. Whereas with this one we've just left it as solid, and I actually think I prefer this one because it's got more vibrancy about it. So there you go, really quick and easy way to make it. If you want to use it as a topper, you can always choose to mount it. I would choose probably an orange or a purpley tone to mount it onto, and then put it onto a black card. I hope you found that useful. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.